Ilford FP4, one of my favorite black and white films. One of the things I really like about this film is its tonality. I love the way it holds the details and the shadows, and I really like the way it holds on to those highlights. I develop it at 3:1 because I really like the detail you get from it. You get that little bit of extra sharpness, which goes a long way when it comes to film. Now you do lack a little bit of contrast, but you can always put that back in post. And I'd rather put in contrast than take it out. Some of the images in this roll look really great. I love the detail in this building here, but I also love the way it's held the highlights and kept the details in the shadow. You can really see all the detail in the cement area around it, and even the character in the frame, you can still make out a lot of detail in her. It looks really good, and it's probably my favorite shot in the roll altogether. Now I shot this roll using my Pentax Spotmatic, which uses a M42 lens mount. This is an old Soviet mount, so we get those old vintage lenses. The lens itself is an old Helios 44 lens. Now, if you've never shot with this lens, I'd highly recommend going out and shooting it. It's really fantastic. Now, not only do you get that swirly bokeh that this lens is famous for, but you still get a lot of sharpness in the middle. I think this lens is really fantastic, and I love shooting with this camera. The camera itself is actually a little broken, the light meter doesn't work and sometimes has light leaks, so that's something I have to be careful with. But I just use a light meter on my phone for a couple of bucks and it works really well. Now going back to the film itself, some of these images are really great. I love the shot of the seagull, even though it's just a seagull. But these images on the train look amazing. Look at the way the light is held up and we're still getting that shadow detail. And again, I think this is really great. That's why I developed 3:1, because we still get that detail, those highlights and shadow details. One of the other great benefits with the Ilford FP4 is it's relatively cheap in Australia. It's only about $10 to $11, and that's a fantastic price. Film obviously is quite expensive, but this film is pretty cheap. I buy it without the box, which makes it even a little bit cheaper. Now, if you're new to film and haven't shot it before, then try this film out. It's a really great, easy to use film, and you're going to get nice details and nice sharpness. And if you can, try it with the Helios lens, because you're going to get some really incredible images. Anyway,